Many of us can look back on our lives and see quite clearly specific, certain experiences that become a turning point. An event that's such a powerful experience that it completely shifts the way you see the world and the way you live your life. And for me, Thursday, the 18th of March 1999 was one such experience. I slumped forward and I remember the moment when I drew my last breath as I reached the bottom of the white tunnel. They say that when you die, your life flashes in front of you. I'm afraid it's not true. It's your values that flash in front of you. Oh, and there's something else too. You see, in that moment of complete and utter clarity, I learned 3 valuable lessons.
It was totally inspirational, Diana. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It really raised the energy of the room and my energy, and I think at the end of it we were all at fever pitch, most definitely.
It was amazing, really. It was the session that we were all pretty much looking forward to.
Phil's session I thought was absolutely brilliant.
And I just thought it was just so wonderful. So all I can say is, Phil, keep up the good work. It's great. Thank you very much.
This is where you need to go and see Phil, because he can actually get you through the blocks, through the interference, the resistance you've got to actually make things happen so you focus on purpose.
And he really did bring great clarity. Fantastic session. Highly recommended.
No, it was brilliant. Well worth it and well recommended.
And that's why I made the title of my first book Counting Chickens, because it comes from the phrase, don't count your chickens before they're hatched. Now, my mum always said that to me, and I know that I certainly have said it in the past to my children. I bet you too, especially if you've got children, have said that sort of thing. But I discovered, you see, that those teams, those businesses, those organisations, those individuals who do achieve the breakthrough into the success zone do in fact count their chickens, because they have this unshakable belief in their cause, in their purpose, that they will achieve their goals. And this manifests itself in an irrepressible desire to go and make it happen. And that's the difference between goal setting and the goal getting mindset. What do I mean by cause? I mean, in a way, it's like goals, but I discovered with the way successful people set their goals, it's not about the setting, it's about goal getting for them. It's all about goal getting, not goal setting. And I started looking at it. You know, the way we teach goal setting, most of it revolves around that mnemonic, doesn't it? SMART. You heard that? SMART. So what does it stand? SMART goals stand for? So specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time-bound. And what I found fascinating was that's been taught, you know, probably in this building 100 times today, certainly within 100 miles of here, it's been taught thousands of times today. And yet, for those people who are really successful, it is a load of rubbish. It just doesn't work for the big purposes. It's okay for the next steps, but for the breakthroughs, it's the achievable and realistic bit that doesn't work.
I have to say it was probably the most amazing experience I've ever had in my life today, of actually having the opportunity to break through a board.
I took so much from it, and I can't wait to get back home and put it into action.
But what I loved most about the session was Phil's energy and taking people to the edge of their comfort zone and pushing further on beyond.
Great content, great energy, great involvement.
And now I'm in a position now where I can actually achieve more now than ever than I have before, just by that one instant that he gave me and that technique of actually breaking that board.
And the farmer said, because it's tethered to a railway sleeper. I know. So the reason I tell that story is that we're all tethered to something. The vast majority of people are tethered to their beliefs, their mindset. And this mindset will either drag you down the deepest holes or it will keep you out of them, thriving effortlessly. You know, the vast majority of people know what they should be doing to get into the success zone. They know how to become more successful. Whether or not they take action is the key. And there's a barrier that exists, the mindset barrier, the interference barrier I call it, between knowing what to do and taking action. You see, most people know that they should be making those sales calls, they should be going to the gym, they should be, as a leader, being more strategic, they should be creating a daily action plan, they should be communicating better as a team. They know they should be finishing that report, that sales proposal, or writing that book, or whatever. But the barrier exists in their mind between knowing and taking action. And it's that barrier, that self-doubt, that lack of confidence, that set of limiting beliefs, that furball of failure that I talked about earlier. That feeling there's a demon in your head that keeps saying you can't do this. It's that interference barrier that stops the knowledge becoming action, stops you doing what you know you could do to get into the success zone. And the real breakthrough exists in breaking through that barrier in the mind so that you go from knowing to taking action effortlessly. So let's just do a few practice runs, okay, and go! Oosh. Yeah, some people forgot the oosh, didn't they? Okay, oosh! Big ooshes, oosh! Fabulous, sit down, wonderful, wonderful stuff. And strike. Fantastic, good man, brilliant, well done. Sorry.
Lots of good ideas, but two things that stood out for me was that the 90-day automation was just brilliant. It's amazing how we've had 3 days together with lots and lots of different speakers, and his point was absolutely right from the start, which was we're just full, our brains are full. We're all talking about it yesterday afternoon, and we think the last thing that you want is more stuff. And he really did bring great clarity. Fantastic session, highly recommend it.
It's the bit between the transition between what you know you need to do and the actual action you've got to take. And it was that fuzzy bit, the interference, which is then becoming much clearer. It's okay knowing what your goal is, but it's the step-by-step process, it's doing it in the 90 days. No, it was brilliant, well worth it and well recommended.